Hello, it's Megan here. I make handmade resin jewelry. I have an Etsy shop and I also participate as a vendor in local markets and festivals. So just take a seat, grab you a cup of coffee or your favorite drink, and just relax because I am going to talk to you today about making a photo resin necklace under 10 minutes. So these are some of the things that I use. I am holding a stainless steel gold bezel. If you see bezel or if you're looking for these materials, an open bezel is pretty much a pendant, but it's open to where you can put something in it. So you can put a photo, like I'm going to be putting a photo, or you can put flowers, you can put pretty much anything you want that will fit and look okay inside the open bezel. So I have my circle hole punch, I have a paintbrush, I have Mod Podge. I will be using Mod Podge to help seal. It is kind of like a glue. To me it's like glue, but it also is a sealant. So, and I have my photo that I'm going to be using for the pendant. I have scissors. I don't know if y'all have tried to cut a perfect round circle, but it is pretty hard to me. I know it's possible and I know people can do it, but I can't. So to make life easier, I use a hole punch. I also have a square punch, and you can pretty much find a hole punch in different shapes. So it's very easy. The reason why I'm making this video is because I get asked a lot at markets, oh, how you do it? Oh, it looks so easy, and oh, it must be hard, and it's really not. All you really need is some patience, time, and a little bit of money. And if you're interested in making resin or get into a craft hobby, any type of hobby, you know you're going to have to put some money into it. But if you have the money, you don't really have to put it all in up front. You know, if you are making it into a small business, for example, that's what I do. Whatever I make at my markets or from, whatever sale, I put it right back into my small business for the stuff that I need. So I have used Mod Podge to put the picture inside the bezel. And I do maybe 2 or 3 coats of Mod Podge on top of the picture. The neat thing about Mod Podge is that it will dry clear. I'm not sure about other Mod Podges, but I know this one that's in the white bottle with the orange or red label, it's gonna dry really quickly and it's gonna dry clear. So I like Mod Podge. I use it for my watercolor paintings because I put my watercolor paints in there as well. You will need UV resin as well. Now, there's a couple of different types of UV resin that I like to use, but my most favorite one is Resin. And that's not the resin that I'm using in this video, but I pretty much go on Amazon and I pretty much, I started off by looking at the ratings and reviews because that always helps. But I find that the one that I like the most is Resin. So it's LET''S resin, RESIN. So I am doing one layer and I'm using some heat. I'm putting a flame to it. I know that may be scary. It's not gonna blow up. You just do a quick torch. You torch it a little bit. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you know what I mean. And that pretty much gets the bubbles out. You're going to put some heat on it to get the bubbles out. And the bubbles will tend to try to go around the rim of the bezel. So you have to be mindful of that. And there is my UV light. I have it under. I normally do my resin outside, but on this day, it was raining so bad. It was very comfy. And I decided to just do it inside. The kids are at daycare. And I wanted to make this piece before I went to work. So definitely want to make sure when you're working with UV, especially inside, I wear my mask outside too, but you just want to make sure you're in a well ventilated spot, and you definitely wear your gloves because I've gotten resin on my hands before and it will literally burn through your skin. It will. You just have to be careful, and I don't see how some people do it. They do, but it's irritating. Some people can do it, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. This UV resin light that I'm using, it looks like a nail, what you would use in a nail shop, but it's not. I got it from Joann's Fabrics and Crafts and Fabric. And I think that was a little bit under $30, but there are some cheaper ones that you can find. Walmart, I think, has one for under $9. So, it's a little bit smaller, but it gets the job done. So a lot of people at markets ask me, well, how do you get the professional look? How do you make it look so well put together? And after I do one coat of resin, I put it under the UV light and I'll go back and do another coat. But when you do another coat and you apply it on top, you want to make sure that it's fully dry. And you can do that by making sure that you're putting your piece, whatever you're making, under the UV light for at least a minute, or maybe 60 seconds or 30 seconds, just as long as it's dry before you put that second coat. And sometimes with my pendants, I'll go and put a third and fourth coat, and that's how you get like a 3D effect. But we can get into that later on. But like I said, it's very simple, very easy to do. And if anything, I wanted to really make this video to encourage you to get to crafting. You know, if it's something that's on your heart, you can pray about it, and just ask God to lead you in the direction that you need to go, as far as if you want to make it a small business. Because, you know, it's nothing wrong with starting a small business. I mean, starting a hobby and making it into a small business, because you're doing something you enjoy and you're making money off of it. You're pretty much generating income for yourself and for your family by still doing something that you like. But I think that is a good way of looking at it, you know, making money off of something that you enjoy doing. I was at a market recently, and it was outdoors because the weather is just now starting to get really, really nice. And we were just talking about, me and another vendor were talking about how COVID really affected everybody. You know, everybody's starting to get out now. Whether you lost somebody or you were sick from COVID, you know, people are starting to get out, and it's just so nice to see people support locals and support small businesses. So right now I'm using Renaissance wax, and I am putting a little coat of Renaissance wax on this bezel. I can be pretty heavy-handed. It's a small jar, and Renaissance wax is not cheap. I think the bottles can be between $20 and $30, depending on what size you get. But I use this on my bezels as a protective coating to help prevent tarnish, and it really gives it a nice sheen, a nice gloss to it that's long lasting. So I am heavy-handed, and I just continue to buff it in. You want to put a little thin layer or a lot like I do, but just make sure that it's you give it a good clean. And I have my necklace chain, so I'm to the point where I'm pretty much done. You know, this is all, like I said, under 10 minutes, and we're going to put the chain on and just see how we can get this started. So this is the end result. I hope that you will maybe want to try a project like this. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe and keep following me. Hope to see you soon.